fear keeps us from being the authentic, wonderful human being that we are. And it's an inappropriate response at this time in our human evolution. It's actually left over from our animal selves from a time millions of years ago when there were predators and we had to worry that we were going to be eaten that day. We didn't have enough food to survive. We were in the mercy of the elements. And today, we still have these responses, even though they're not appropriate for most of us in the modern world, at least. And so what this creates in us is a fear of abandonment, a fear of failure, a fear of loss of control, a fear of scarcity. In fact, scarcity is the major fear that underlies all the fears that we have. And what this makes us is competitors for what we think are scarce resources. And what's that led to in our world is the have and the have-nots. And in the Western world, it is mostly the haves, and in the other third world countries, it's the have-nots, where there are millions of people who still are leading lives that are similar to the ones that I described from millions of years ago, when they actually have realistic fears. So what are we going to do about this? Well, the first thing is that each of us needs to take responsibility for getting rid of our own fears. It starts with us. And is it possible? The answer is yes, it is possible. It is going to happen either now or in future evolution. So it might as well happen now. And how are we going to do it? Well, the first thing we need to do is to admit that we are leading lives of fear. And to look at what fears do we have? What are our major fears? Are they abandonment, rejection, that nobody will love us? This is scarcity. It's scarcity of love. It is not having enough money. Well, that's scarcity as well, and that can lead to hoarding of what we have. It can lead to a kind of stinginess. It can lead to not going after what you really want because you're afraid of giving up what you have currently. What about a fear of failure? Well, then that leads to perfectionism. It can also lead to procrastination, because when we have a fear of failure, we often procrastinate doing exactly what we have to do to succeed. And some of us, believe it or not, have the fear of success. And why? Because if we succeed, then we would have more responsibility and we would have more to do. And a lot of us in the Western world feel that we already are up to here with how much we have to do and how many choices we have to make every day. So examining the fears in our own life is essential. The next thing we have to do is we have to see what we really truly are in our best nature, our soul nature, our authentic selves. And when we see that, and we're all beautiful, wonderful human beings, we will know that our true purpose is as guardians of this earth and guardians of all the wonderful beings on the earth, including fellow human beings. And so then we won't have the thought of enemies, that we always have to protect ourselves from enemies, which is a fear response. We are this enemy. So to have a vision of our best authentic selves, that will allow us, because if we don't have the vision of it, it's hard to move towards it and give up where we are right now. But that will allow us then to start saying, what are some steps that I could take to get me towards that being that I want to be, that I know I am in my best self. And so these could be little steps, these could be large steps, depending on our fear, but it is all doable for each of us. And when each of us does this, this will transform the world. And we will become collectively guardians of this planet.